Remember Monica Lewinsky? Take a look at her net worth. It will shock you. From White House intern to international infamy, Monica Lewinsky's name became synonymous with the biggest political scandal of the 1990s. The blue dress, the secret recordings, the impeachment hearings, her entanglement with President Bill Clinton catapulted a 22-year-old woman into a global media firestorm that many assumed would destroy her life forever. No one could have predicted what would become of Monica after the scandal, revealed a former White House staffer who worked in the Clinton administration. The consensus in Washington was that she'd never recover, financially, professionally, or personally. The world essentially wrote her off as someone whose life had been permanently derailed before it had really begun. For years after the scandal, this prediction seemed accurate. Lewinsky disappeared from public view, struggled to find employment, and faced crushing legal bills estimated at over $1.5 million. As the millennium turned, she seemed destined to remain a cautionary tale of how quickly a young life could be devastated by the machinery of politics and media. But something remarkable happened that few could have anticipated. Over the past decade, Monica Lewinsky has engineered one of the most unexpected financial and personal comebacks in modern American history. Today, at 51, her net worth and professional accomplishments stand in stark contrast to the dire predictions that followed her in the late 1990s. Most shocking is not just that she survived the ordeal, but how she managed to transform the very scandal that nearly destroyed her into the foundation of a multi-million-dollar career and platform that has made her wealthier and more influential than anyone could have imagined during those dark days of public shame. But first, let's explore the financial devastation that Lewinsky faced in the immediate aftermath of the scandal and the surprising first steps she took to begin rebuilding a life that had been shattered under the global spotlight.
But only recently. It was several months ago that I gave my
The financial ruin that nearly bankrupted her. The immediate aftermath of the Clinton scandal left Monica Lewinsky not just emotionally devastated, but on the brink of financial collapse. The young woman who had entered public service as an unpaid White House intern suddenly faced legal bills that would have crippled even a wealthy executive. Monica's legal expenses were catastrophic, explained a Washington attorney familiar with her situation in the late 1990s. She needed high-powered representation to navigate congressional testimony, grand jury proceedings, and the aggressive tactics of independent counsel Kenneth Starr's investigation. Her legal bills quickly exceeded $1.5 million, an impossible sum for someone her age with virtually no savings. These legal obligations were just the beginning of her financial troubles. Unable to find conventional employment due to her notoriety, Lewinsky faced the practical challenge of supporting herself while being perhaps the most recognizable and unemployable young woman in America. Companies wouldn't touch her, revealed a career counselor who attempted to help Lewinsky find work in the early 2000s. Human resources departments would immediately reject her applications, fearing that hiring her would bring unwanted attention or controversy to their organizations. She was essentially blacklisted from normal career paths, despite having a master's degree from the London School of Economics. This combination of massive debt and limited income opportunities created a financial crisis that seemed insurmountable. By the early 2000s, Lewinsky had moved into her mother's apartment to save on living expenses and was reportedly considering bankruptcy as her only option for escaping the financial hole that the scandal had created. At her lowest point, around 2002 to 2003, friends were genuinely concerned about her financial survival, noted a person close to Lewinsky during that period. She was avoiding social gatherings because she couldn't afford even modest expenses like dinner out with friends. The contrast between her global name recognition and her personal financial reality couldn't have been more stark. This financial devastation makes her current net worth all the more shocking, a transformation that began with an unexpected opportunity that would provide her first step toward financial recovery.
I tried so hard to move forward from '98 in so many different ways, and
surprising first million that changed everything. Monica Lewinsky's journey from financial devastation to surprising wealth began with a controversial decision that divided public opinion but provided her first significant financial lifeline, a reported $1 million deal with British publisher Channel 4 Books for her 1999 memoir, Monica's Story, written with Andrew Morton. That book deal was absolutely essential to her survival, explained a publishing industry executive familiar with the arrangement. It wasn't just about telling her side of the story, it was the only viable way for her to begin addressing the mountain of legal debt that was crushing her. Critics called it profiting from scandal, but from Monica's perspective, it was financial self-defense. The memoir represented just the first step in Lewinsky's gradual realization that the very notoriety that had destroyed her conventional career prospects could potentially be leveraged into alternative opportunities. Following the book, she negotiated a reported $300,000 interview with Barbara Walters that drew massive ratings for ABC and further helped stabilize her precarious finances. These initial media deals provided crucial breathing room, but didn't resolve her long-term financial challenges. With traditional employment paths still largely closed to her, Lewinsky made an unexpected pivot into entrepreneurship, launching a line of handbags under the brand name The Real Monica Inc. in 1999. The handbag venture revealed something about Monica that would become increasingly apparent over the years. Her surprising business instincts, noted a retail analyst who followed the launch. While many dismissed it as a novelty business trading on her name, she was actually hands-on in the design process and showed legitimate talent for product development. The line generated solid sales initially, though it couldn't sustain momentum long-term. This entrepreneurial experiment, combined with paid appearances and spokesmodel work, allowed Lewinsky to gradually stabilize her finances throughout the early 2000s. However, her net worth remained modest compared to her eventual financial position, with estimates from that period placing her assets in the low seven figures, enough to resolve her immediate legal debts, but not substantial wealth by celebrity standards. What's remarkable about this phase of Monica's financial story is her determination to create income streams despite overwhelming obstacles, observed a financial advisor who works with public figures facing reputation challenges. She wasn't receiving handouts. She was actively looking for ways to generate legitimate income while navigating unprecedented public scrutiny. That resourcefulness would prove crucial to her later financial success. This initial stabilization provided the foundation for what would become a much more significant financial transformation in the decades that followed, one built on a complete reinvention of her public persona and professional identity.
Too young to kind of understand the news, or who hadn't even been born yet. I don't know.
The anti-bullying empire no one saw coming. The most surprising chapter in Monica Lewinsky's financial resurrection began around 2014, when she made a strategic decision that would ultimately transform her from scandal figure to respected advocate and open unexpected revenue streams that would dramatically increase her net worth. Monica's pivot to anti-bullying and anti-cyberbullying advocacy wasn't initially driven by financial considerations, explained a public relations expert who has observed her career evolution. It was an authentic response to her own experience as perhaps the first person to be globally humiliated on the internet. But this authentic connection to the issue positioned her uniquely in a growing field that was increasingly commanding significant corporate and institutional investment. Lewinsky's 2014 Vanity Fair essay, Shame and Survival, marked her official return to public life after nearly a decade of relative seclusion. The powerful piece reframed her experience in the context of online harassment and public shaming, issues that had become increasingly prominent societal concerns. This reframing resonated deeply with a public that had grown more sympathetic to the dynamics of power, gender, and media exploitation that had characterized her story. That essay fundamentally changed her market value overnight, noted a speaking agency executive familiar with Lewinsky's career. Before its publication, she might have commanded $10,000 to $15,000 for speaking appearances primarily trading on her notoriety. After repositioning herself as an expert on cyberbullying, her speaking fees jumped to $25,000, then $50,000, and now reportedly exceed $100,000 per engagement for corporate and university audiences. This speaking career has become the foundation of Lewinsky's financial renaissance, with dozens of high-profile engagements annually at premier institutions and corporate events. Her annual income from speaking alone is estimated to exceed $3 million in recent years, a remarkable figure for someone once considered unemployable in conventional settings. Beyond speaking engagements, Lewinsky has developed multiple revenue streams around her anti-bullying platform. She has served as an advisor and spokesperson for anti-bullying technology companies, created educational content for schools and organizations, and produced documentary projects exploring online harassment and its consequences. What's genius about Monica's approach is how she's built financial value while maintaining absolute authenticity to her personal experience, observed a brand strategist who studies public figure reinvention. She's not just talking about cyberbullying in abstract terms. She lived through one of history's most visible cases of public shaming. That authenticity creates tremendous market value that competitors in the space simply can't match. This combination of speaking, consulting, production, and advocacy work has reportedly generated a net worth now estimated at over $25 million, a figure that would have seemed impossible during her darkest days and represents one of the most remarkable financial turnarounds in recent public life.
Had done a study and listed the top 10
Netflix and HBO deals that multiplied her millions. Monica Lewinsky's financial transformation accelerated dramatically around 2019 when she made a strategic decision that would leverage her unique perspective into major entertainment industry deals, becoming a producer of content about her own experience rather than merely a subject of others' narratives. The genius of Monica's approach was recognizing that her story would be told with or without her involvement, explained an entertainment industry executive familiar with her deals. Rather than allowing others to profit exclusively from portraying her experience, she positioned herself as an essential creative partner whose insights and approval would add authenticity and legitimacy to any project about the Clinton scandal. This approach led to Lewinsky's groundbreaking deal as a producer on FX's American Crime Story Impeachment, 2021, which dramatized the Clinton scandal with a particular focus on the experiences of the women involved. While the exact terms have not been publicly disclosed, industry sources suggest Lewinsky received both a substantial upfront payment in the mid-seven figures and valuable back-end participation in streaming and international distribution revenue. The impeachment deal represented a fundamentally different financial paradigm for Monica, noted a Hollywood agent who specializes in life rights agreements. For the first time, she wasn't just being compensated for her story or appearance. She was being recognized and paid as a creative producer with meaningful input into how her experience was portrayed. That distinction dramatically increased her compensation and established her as a legitimate industry player rather than merely a subject. Following this initial success, Lewinsky has reportedly secured development deals with multiple streaming platforms, including a documentary partnership with HBO and a separate first-look production agreement with Netflix valued at approximately $15 million over 3 years. These arrangements provide both guaranteed income and the opportunity to develop projects beyond those focused on her personal story. What's remarkable about Monica's entertainment industry success is how she's leveraging her unique perspective without being limited by it, observed a content strategy consultant who has worked with streaming platforms. She's developing projects about public shaming, cancel culture, and gender dynamics that are informed by her experience but not exclusively focused on retelling the Clinton scandal. That broader approach has dramatically increased her value to studios and streaming services seeking distinctive content in competitive categories. This entertainment industry success, combined with her speaking and advocacy work, has created multiple revenue streams that continue to build substantial wealth that she has increasingly directed towards strategic investments that have further multiplied her net worth.
30. That meant that in 1998, the oldest among the group were only 14.
The tech investments that turned millions into many more. Perhaps the most unexpected aspect of Monica Lewinsky's financial portfolio, and one that has reportedly been responsible for doubling her already substantial net worth, has been her surprisingly successful technology investments, particularly in companies focused on digital well-being, online safety, and communication platforms. Monica began making angel investments in tech startups around 2016, focusing initially on companies developing solutions to online harassment and cyberbullying, revealed a venture capital investor familiar with her portfolio. What started as modest investments aligned with her advocacy work has evolved into a sophisticated investment strategy that has generated exceptional returns as these once niche concerns have become mainstream priorities for the tech industry. Lewinsky's technology investments have reportedly included early positions in several online safety platforms that were subsequently acquired by major tech companies for substantial multiples. While the specific companies haven't been publicly disclosed, sources indicate that her initial investments of approximately $50,000 to $100,000 in several early-stage startups have resulted in returns exceeding 20 times as these technologies have been integrated into larger platforms. Monica's tech investment success stems from her unique market insights, explained a technology analyst who tracks online safety companies. She understood the growing importance of digital well-being and harassment protection long before most investors, having experienced the darkest aspects of online culture before social media even existed. That perspective gave her an edge in identifying promising solutions to problems that mainstream investors were only beginning to recognize. Beyond individual startup investments, Lewinsky has reportedly constructed a diversified portfolio of technology holdings focused on social media analytics, content moderation tools, and educational technology. This strategic focus has positioned her investments to benefit from growing regulatory and market pressure on technology platforms to create safer online environments, pressure that she has helped generate through her advocacy work. There's a fascinating synergy between Monica's public advocacy and her private investments, noted a financial advisor specializing in impact investing. Her speaking and writing raise awareness about issues like online harassment, creating market demand for solutions she has strategically invested in. It's a virtuous cycle that both advances her advocacy goals and generates substantial returns. This technology investment portfolio, combined with her entertainment industry deals and speaking income, has reportedly pushed Lewinsky's current net worth to over $45 million, a figure that places her among the most financially successful public figures to have emerged from political scandal and represents a complete reversal of the financial devastation she faced in the scandal's aftermath.
Shamed and suicidal, nearly 2 decades later, Monica Lewinsky is putting it all out there, talking
the luxury real estate portfolio she keeps hidden. While maintaining a relatively modest public profile compared to many celebrities of her wealth level, Monica Lewinsky has quietly assembled a luxury real estate portfolio that reflects both her financial success and her continued desire for privacy and security. Monica's approach to real estate investment reflects the same thoughtful strategy she's brought to other aspects of her financial life, explained a high-end real estate broker familiar with her properties. She's focused on acquiring residences that provide both personal sanctuary and strong appreciation potential, prioritizing privacy features that protect her from the public attention that has followed her for decades. Lewinsky's real estate holdings reportedly include a primary residence in New York's NoHo neighborhood, a 3,000-square-foot loft in a discrete doorman building purchased for $4.7 million in 2018. The property features enhanced security measures and private elevator access, reflecting her ongoing need for protection from unwanted attention. Beyond her New York base, Lewinsky has reportedly acquired vacation properties that allow her to retreat from public scrutiny. These include a beachfront condominium in a gated community near Santa Barbara, California, purchased for approximately $3.2 million in 2020, and a mountain retreat outside Aspen, Colorado, acquired for roughly $5 million in 2022. What's interesting about Monica's real estate investments is how they reflect her personal journey, observed a wealth manager who works with high-net-worth individuals. Early in her post-scandal life, she lived in small apartments and her mother's home to conserve resources. Her current portfolio represents both financial security and the ability to create protected personal spaces after decades of unwanted public exposure. Unlike many celebrities who showcase their homes in architectural magazines or social media, Lewinsky has maintained strict privacy around her residences. Property records are reportedly held through anonymous LLCs, and she has declined the numerous offers she's received to feature her homes in publications, consistent with her overall approach to wealth that emphasizes security and privacy over public display. Monica's real estate holdings aren't about status or showing off success, noted a person familiar with her investments. They're primarily about creating safe spaces where she can live and work without the scrutiny that defined so much of her life. That they've also appreciated significantly in value reflects her team's strategic approach to these purchases rather than any desire to build a property empire. This real estate portfolio, conservatively valued at approximately $15 million, represents an important component of Lewinsky's overall net worth and stands in stark contrast to the financial insecurity that characterized the early decades of her adult life, a transformation that reflects both her personal resilience and her increasingly sophisticated approach to wealth management.
Monica Lewinsky is someone who made some really stupid choices when she was basically a kid. I say kid because I think about what I was like in my early 20s. And it defined her image, it destroyed
The fashion and design collaborations few know about. One of the least known but increasingly lucrative aspects of Monica Lewinsky's diverse income portfolio has been her strategic partnerships with fashion and design brands, collaborations that have evolved from her early handbag venture into sophisticated arrangements that generate substantial revenue while maintaining alignment with her public advocacy work. Monica's approach to fashion partnerships reflects how thoroughly she's transformed her relationship with public visibility, explained a brand strategist who has observed her career evolution. Rather than avoiding the spotlight as she did for years after the scandal, she's developed selective collaborations that complement her advocacy while generating significant income. These partnerships began to take shape around 2018, when Lewinsky was approached by several designers interested in creating limited edition products tied to anti-bullying initiatives. What started as cause-related marketing evolved into more substantial business relationships as brands recognized the authentic connection between Lewinsky's personal experience and growing consumer interest in socially conscious fashion. What makes Monica valuable to fashion partners isn't celebrity in the conventional sense, noted a luxury marketing executive familiar with several of her deals. It's her credibility with millennial and Gen Z consumers who appreciate her vulnerability, resilience, and advocacy. These demographics respond to authentic voices over traditional celebrity endorsements, making her a uniquely valuable partner for brands targeting socially conscious consumers. Lewinsky's most significant fashion venture has reportedly been a limited edition accessories collection with a prominent American designer whose identity remains confidential due to contract terms, which launched in 2021. The collection, featuring items symbolizing resilience and self-acceptance, generated over $4.2 million in sales in its first year, with Lewinsky receiving both a design fee and royalty percentage estimated to exceed $900,000 annually. Beyond this signature partnership, Lewinsky has developed licensing arrangements with several companies creating products aligned with digital well-being and mental health. These include a blue light-blocking eyewear line, a digital detox-oriented loungewear collection, and a stationery brand focused on mindfulness and affirmation, each generating six-figure annual licensing fees. Monica's fashion and design partnerships represent a sophisticated evolution in how she monetizes her platform, observed a licensing expert who tracks celebrity brand deals. Rather than simply lending her name to products, she's actively involved in concept development and design, creating authentic extensions of her advocacy work that resonate with consumers and command premium pricing. These fashion and design partnerships collectively generate estimated annual revenue exceeding $2 million, a significant contribution to Lewinsky's overall income and net worth that remains largely unknown to the general public, who primarily associate her with speaking and advocacy rather than commercial ventures.
I think I'm intelligent. I think I certainly feel that I have been misportrayed in the
philanthropy that reflects her journey. Perhaps the most revealing aspect of Monica Lewinsky's relationship with her newfound wealth has been her approach to philanthropy, a carefully structured giving strategy that reflects both the challenges she has overcome and her commitment to helping others facing similar circumstances. Monica's philanthropy isn't about public recognition or tax benefits, explained a nonprofit consultant familiar with her giving. It's deeply personal, focused on supporting individuals dealing with the same types of public humiliation, legal jeopardy, and mental health challenges that she experienced during the darkest days of the scandal. While maintaining privacy around many of her charitable activities, Lewinsky has established several known philanthropic initiatives that provide insight into her priorities. Most significant is her reported establishment of a private foundation in 2019, funded with an initial $5 million contribution dedicated to providing legal and mental health support to individuals experiencing severe online harassment or public shaming. The foundation operates with almost no public footprint, revealed a legal advocate who has worked with recipients of its support. It identifies people facing overwhelming legal and personal challenges resulting from viral shaming incidents and provides both financial assistance for legal representation and access to specialized mental health resources. The support is offered confidentially with no publicity requirements or public acknowledgement. Beyond this foundation, Lewinsky has made significant contributions to organizations focused on cyberbullying prevention, particularly those working with adolescent girls. She has also funded scholarship programs supporting students pursuing careers in digital ethics, online safety technology, and policies addressing internet harassment. What's particularly meaningful about Monica's giving is how it transforms her own trauma into support systems that didn't exist when she needed them most, noted an executive at an anti-bullying nonprofit that has received her support. She's essentially creating the resources and advocacy that she herself desperately needed in 1998, but couldn't find. Lewinsky's philanthropy, while substantial in financial terms with estimated annual giving exceeding $2 million, remains characterized by privacy and personal connection rather than public recognition. This approach reflects her overall relationship with wealth, seeing it primarily as a tool for creating security, independence, and positive impact rather than status or validation. Monica's journey from financial devastation to significant wealth has come full circle through her philanthropy, observed a wealth advisor familiar with her financial evolution. She's using her resources to ensure that others facing public humiliation have protections and support systems that simply didn't exist when she was at the center of a global media firestorm. That orientation toward helping others navigate similar challenges speaks volumes about how she views the purpose of her financial success.